Morning everyone. Me say a special good morning to the members of the media and welcome. Me also take this opportunity to extend a warm season's greetings to the citizens of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago and wishing you the very best for the new year 2025. This morning we the minority would like to address couple matters that are extremely important to you, the people of Tobago. As you know, we did indicate that unless or otherwise necessary, the previous press conference would have been our final press briefing for the year. However, matters coming to the office of the minority has deemed it so necessary that we come to speak to you, the people of Tobago. Today, I want to deal specifically with matters pertaining to the management or mismanagement at the Tobago Regional Health Authority, led by under the leadership of Dr. Faith B. Israel and the TRHA board led by Chairman Chrislyn Moore. The matters that I'm going to speak to you, fellow Tobagonians, are indeed very troubling. It speaks to waste, it speaks to mismanagement, and it speaks to a misuse of public funds. This morning, the first matter I'll deal with is the matter with respect to what has been brought to my attention, the purported purchase of a $20 million Palms Villas Resort at Signal Hill. And the reason why this purchase is so troubling to the minority is because it speaks of misplaced priorities. You would know this current administration continuously tells us that they have a deficiency when it comes to their budgetary allocation. And you keep hearing them saying, we have no money, we have no money, we have no money. And therefore, it begs the question, if you don't have any money, how then does purchasing villas become a priority of the Tobago Regional Health Authority? Why is the THA spending an estimated $20 million to purchase this Palms Villas? A property that has been on the market for years. And my information is the property is significantly run down. Instead of addressing Tobago's urgent health crisis. And what makes this even more alarming and concerning is the fact that the current Signal, the Scarborough Regional Hospital, that hospital sits on 25 acres of land, the majority of which is still unused. So if there's 25 acres of land available to the Tobago House of Assembly, why then will the TRHA turn around, ignore that available land, and then purchase a property for over $20 million? And I understand it's 5 villas, 3 bedrooms. And is the purpose really for the TRHA, or is this perhaps a romping shop? Because the point is, what the TRHA is doing with 5 villas, because I understand they're saying it is for the use of oncology and for HIV. But if you understand oncology and that type of facility, that has to be a purpose-built facility, because you're talking about cancer patients, and there are some very specific things that have to be built out for an oncology center. And therefore, my information is, if they are to retrofit those villas, then they would have to demolish the villas that they just paid $20 million for and rebuild a whole new build out for this oncology center. So you have 25 acres of land available, yet you are purchasing a property, I think it's 10 acres property, for $20 million. And the question we have to ask ourselves, Tobagonians, given this, if we are to take this administration's cry that they don't have enough money, is that the best use of $20 million when we all know the challenges at the hospital? Basic medication is unavailable at the pharmacy, basic equipment unavailable, and yet the Tobago Regional Health Authority has taken a decision approved by the Executive Council of the Tobago House of Assembly to purchase a resort that has not been in use for years at the cost of $20 million. And then we have to ask, who is to benefit from this? Who is the lawyer or the middle agent that would have negotiated this deal? And what was their payment? Let us know the name. Let us know who was the person that brokered this deal and how much was paid to that person for brokering that deal. And more than that, this is $20 million that is taking capital flight because the owners of this property lives abroad. So there again, you are seeing how this Tobago economy continues to shrink because the money is available to treat with the people residing here in Tobago is being spirited away. So here you are saying you only have $200 and something million for development. And out of that $200 and something million, you have taken $20 million to purchase a property when you have lands right in Signal Hill, right on the site of the current hospital that you can use to build out this oncology center. And even if you don't find Signal Hill appropriate, there is the old Scarborough Hospital. There are buildings there that just need to be retrofitted. That would have cost us much less because after you spend the $20 million, you still have to go and spend money to construct. And therefore, Tobagonians, we have to ask ourselves, is this decision value for money? Is this the best use of our scarce resources? And therefore, this is a matter that we need answers, and the THA and the Secretary of Health must respond, because this is Tobago's people money. All you have been entrusted with is to manage that with prudency. And we must ask the question, is this prudent use of very scarce money? And it gets worse. It gets worse, fellow Tobagonians. So I want to play, and I'll ask the producer to pull up a clip, because we dealt with a matter in the Tobago House of Assembly legislature recently, where we asked a question about the status of some ambulances that we were told were being procured since January of 2024. And while we've been waiting to see those ambulances, we were told in January 2024 those ambulances were coming. In the meantime, the TRHA is paying over $350,000 a month to rent, I think, 2 or 3 ambulances. So think about it. Over the past year, they have already spent something like $1.5 million leasing. In fact, $2-point-something million leasing the service of ambulances. An ambulance on average costs about $500,000 to $600,000. So they've already paid in lease what they could have purchased, about 4 to 5 ambulances for the year. So we are waiting on those ambulances. It's the longest procurement period I've ever seen in my life, because from January to now, We've been told the ambulances are coming. We asked the question in the House, and I want to share for the people of Tobago, for them to hear the answer of the status of those ambulances that were supposed to be delivered sometime around October to November.
Thank you again, Madam Presiding Officer. The status of the procurement of the new ambulances that were estimated to be delivered in September 2024. 4 ambulances, Madam Presiding Officer, have arrived in Trinidad, 3 in July and 1 in September 2024. They are currently being cleared and configured for use. They are being cleared, configured for use, and currently awaiting approval from the Ministry of Health, consistent with the Emergency Ambulance Services and Emergency Medical Personnel Act 8 of 2009. It is estimated that the 4 ambulances will be operational in November, because that process seems to be moving along as swiftly as it can. 8 additional ambulances have also been ordered and are being manufactured in the country of origin, and they are estimated to come in soon. What is the total cost incurred for the ambulances that we are leasing? Total cost thus far is $4.347 million.
There you hear it, fellow Tobagonians. Confirmation from the Secretary that these ambulances were procured and it's on its way. I also shared at that time, and it was not refuted, that the information coming to me is that the ambulance were in fact delivered and were in Trinidad. But the ambulance that came, that were delivered in Trinidad, had to stay in Trinidad for some time. And the reason why those ambulances had to stay in Trinidad is because they purchased ambulances that were not in conformity with the standards set out by the Ministry of Health, where they purchased an ambulance that only had one entrance and exit, and therefore, so it only had a back door. But usually these ambulances have to have multiple entrances, so you have to have one on the side and one to the back. So they had to now retrofit, and retrofit in layman term, they had to cut the ambulance to fit a space now to accommodate a second entrance onto the ambulance. So here you had, after taking a year to procure the ambulance that came had to be customized. But it gets worse. It gets worse. So the customized ambulance finally got to Tobago. Yes, they are here. And I want to play some photos so you would see what this hapless, clueless administration that can't even buy some ambulance purchased for the people of Tobago. Imagine that. People being paid thousands and thousands of dollars, and something as simple as an ambulance that you already have. Ambulances, this is not the first time the Tobago, the TRHA and the THA are purchasing ambulances. This has been done already. We have ambulances that are proven, the Ford ambulance that we have before. So this is nothing new. So you would see in photo, these are the ambulances, and I want you to pay close attention to the length. These ambulances are more, they are long like a bus. Like if we are taking children to school. So this perhaps might be more suited for the school program, the school bus program. So probably may. So these are the ambulances, fellow Tobagonians, that they have purchased. And my information is the reason why these ambulances have not been commissioned is because they are unfit and unsuitable for use. So there are a number of challenges which the workers, the drivers, and the EMT staff have declared that they are not going to use those ambulances because they are not fit for purpose. So there again, millions and millions and millions of dollars spent, and ultimately you, the people of Tobago, would be shortchanged, because my understanding is the ambulances will have to be returned, and the question is when. Because I can point out some of the issues. Imagine you are buying an ambulance in this modern time, and first they don't care about their own health workers, the workers who have to operate this vehicle. They procured ambulances where at the front there's no AC. So in a tropical country where you have to deal with sun and rain, you purchase a vehicle where there's no AC in the front of the vehicle. So it's a sweat box you purchase. So these workers who have to be carrying and driving at extraordinary speed and having a certain level of concentration, because they are going very fast, they are placed in a vehicle that has absolutely no AC. You all know how that works in the night under our condition when it gets foggy. Just imagine that driver, rain falling, no AC, cannot see where they are going in the countryside. Let me think about Lansfamy and Parle-Trouvé. Think about those areas, dark. And you have also, then you look at the size. The ambulances are even larger than the current one that exists. So think about, you imagine a secretary who is from the east, representative of places like Bell Garden. Think about Zion Hill and all those places that have all those little secondary roads. Think about trying to go and get your tanty or your granny, your nenen. Think about going up Big Ben, and think about going down to Charlottesville and up inside them hill or up in Campbellton. Think about it, and you have this big, long ambulance trying to navigate. How are you going to get to the people that need the help? And who thought of that? That is common sense. So whereas you thought you were upgrading from the 2012 arrangement, you have actually downgraded. The ambulances are actually, you move from automatic transmission to manual transition, where the terrain of Tobago is very mountainous, hilly, and you have to balance clutch. Imagine you coming up again from Charlottesville, and you had a bus in front of you, and you trying to balance that clutch under an emergency situation. This is the backwardness that these people are taking us. So instead of we going forward in 2024, Tobago has been taken backward to 2000 manual transmission. You have to shift gears, and you have to remember the speed at which you have to operate this vehicle. The larger the vehicle also makes it more difficult to navigate. Understand the vehicle is very flimsy. Understand it's already rusting. And perhaps you, the media, should demand that they give you a tour of those ambulances, because they are already in Tobago, hiding. They are hiding them. Imagine over 2 to 3 weeks they are here, and they're so ashamed to bring it out that they have them hiding in a corner. This is what is passing for management in Tobago. And I keep saying to you Tobagonians, when they keep telling you about money, 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 I keep telling you the issue is management, 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 and a lack of management, mismanagement. That is the challenge. But it gets even worse. So we all heard about the issue with the incinerator. And of course, we were told that they are also procuring an incinerator. So we've been waiting, we've been watching, we've been asking, where is this incinerator? Because while we are waiting on the incinerator, again, we are paying almost $1 million every month to deal with our biohazardous waste. So we are paying a private company almost $1 million. What costs only about $3 million. So while you are paying $1 million for a machine that costs only $3 million, a year later, we're still asking where the incinerator. Well, I am asking as well, and my advice is, this incinerator has been procured and delivered, as we were told by the secretary, but it is sitting somewhere God knows where. Somewhere perhaps on the port, or somewhere hidden again. And it is sitting there because the incinerator they bought, again, is not fit for purpose, not fit to size. So where it was to be installed, the dimensions just does not match. And therefore, they are now bobbing and weaving and like some real nincompoops looking to see where they can put the incinerator. And my advice is they are looking at Cove, Eco Industrial Park, and I use the word eco to show you how foolish these people can be. Because here it is, you are now looking to carry in a place that's supposed to be an eco-friendly zone, biohazard. And therefore, I want to treat with the final mismanagement issue. So you have nothing they have done has gone right. They have tried to purchase some ambulance, they have messed that up. They have tried to purchase an incinerator, they have messed that up. So you know the PNM commissioned the Roxborough Hospital. That was in 2021. That hospital that was commissioned was built with the intention for the people of the Far East to access 24/7 service, full service, including surgeries. 3 years later, this incompetent, confused, don't know what they do in administration, has failed to operationalize that Roxborough Hospital to a full 24/7. And we have seen the consequences of that. We have seen mothers having to die because they are having to leave Far East to come down to town, when if that hospital was operating on a 24/7, they would have had the emergency intervention to save their lives and that of their babies. We have seen persons having to be consistently driven down to Scarborough to access emergency services. And this hospital, where $100 and something million was invested for the people of Far East, cannot be operationalized. And more than that, my information is all that is required at that hospital is human resource. They have the building properly built for purpose. They have the equipment already in place, and all they need is for the hospital to hire the people, the nurses, the doctors. That is all that is required. And yet for 3 years, this hapless, hopeless, clueless administration has failed the people of the Far East in operationalizing this. And you know, to mask their incompetence, they are now spending, I understand, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of your money, almost $1 million, to bring in a consultant from England to tell them if the hospital could operate 24/7. When all the information is there, the hospital was built with the purpose to operate 24/7. The equipment are there are all the equipments required to operate 24/7. And yet, I understand they have brought in a consultant, and again, nobody knows who is this consultant, what are their credentials, who would have accredited this consultant, because usually the Medical Association of Trinidad and Tobago is who regularize and vets everybody coming to provide services. PAHO is the recognized agency that treats with accreditation of hospitals and has already accredited this hospital as a 24/7 hospital. And therefore, the question is, how was this consultant company procured? Where did they find this person? Did you all see any RFP, any kind of thing going out saying that they need this service? Is this somebody's friend? And is this another way of Tobago people patrimony being spirited out? Because why are we spending $1 million to pay a consultant to tell us what we already know? So from this platform today, I'm telling the people of the Far East, a commitment by the People's National Movement, that when we return to office, guaranteed within 6 months, that Roxborough Hospital will be fully operationalized. Surgeries, inpatient care, the full works, fully operationalized, because they told us they could fix it, but clearly they don't know what they're doing. Finally, I want to bring up to the screen something that is very disturbing. And you see, the mismanagement gets worse. Because this morning, I went to purchase a Nescafe. This morning, I went because I fell for coffee. And when I purchased this Nescafe, it cost me about $4. $4 for this packet of Nescafe. Fellow Tobagonians, I have in my possession the purchase requisition of the TRHA. And for this same packet of Nescafe, a box of 50. So this one cost me $4. A box of 50 is costing you, the Tobago taxpayer, over $4,313. So the packet that is $4 and the box that should be maximum $500 is costing you $4,313. It gets worse. I sent to get some onions, and I'm being told down at the grocer, down at the vegetable stall, you're getting 3 pounds for 20. So on average, $7 a pound. You know how much a bag of onions, 50 pounds, is costing you, the taxpayer, at the TRHA? That bag of onion is costing you $7,000. Think about it. A pound of onion, $7. 50 pounds, a bag of onion at the TRHA is costing you $7. 7 by 50 is $350. So a bag of onion, which should be on average $350, let's say $500. One bag of onion is costing you at the TRHA $7,000. So you know how it have golden apple? Those are golden onions, because I am flabbergasted as to see how onions, one of the cheapest items on your grocery list, could cost over $7,000 for a bag of onions of 50 pounds. I'm scrolling through and you're seeing garlic, a bag of garlic, same 50-pound bag of garlic, $6,750. What kind of garlic is this? This is this garlic plant where the plant is. No, I mean, it gets ridiculous. A case of carnation milk, 24 in a case, that I know I just pay maximum at the grocery, $300 or something dollars. $3,924.96 for one case of carnation milk. Coconut powder, a box with 24 packs, 2,436. Like them went up, cut the coconut, grated the coconut, diced super coconut powder. And you know, the reason why this is hurting me is because while they are splurging, mismanaging, and in some instances thieving, you have people. Up to today, I have over 50 people messaging me, all they're doing hampers, all they're doing hampers, all they're doing hampers. We have Tobagonians struggling to make ends meet, and you have people so mismanaging the scarce, the little bit of money they say that we have. You have all this kind of mismanagement going on. And you know what? Under this administration, there's no consequences. So, the same people continue to be on the boards. The same people continue to manage these resources. And the question is, therefore, Tobagonians, if they can't fix it, we will just have to fix them. Because ultimately, this cannot continue. And you know, before we end, I just want to take us back to the ambulances, because this requires serious action. How something as simple as going out and get best ambulances that are known to deliver a service becomes so wrong, becomes so bad, becomes such a big mess. And I would like to pull up on the screen so that you Tobagonians get a full view of what this administration purchased and believe you are worthy of. Because whatever they provide for us is how they value us. And if they believe that we are not valued or we are not worthy, then they would bring anything for us, because that is what this ambulance represents. This is a take that and make that work. So the ambulance, you're seeing the manual gear, no AC. Right? A fan up inside of the ceiling. So that is what the workers have to endure. You could tell me, could this ever be right? No, they don't even have a little stereo set to keep them entertained or occupied. The things are flimsy. Look the seat belt, flimsy. The seats are uncomfortable. You could barely stay, I'm told, in that space for more than an hour. And imagine an ambulance having to come from Charlottesville or Hermitage all the way down to Scarborough. Look, this is what in 2024 the TRHA and the THA under Faith and Farley is delivering to the people of Tobago and say, take that. This is what you all are worth. Tobagonians, are we worth this? And no name, no brand ambulance. So even if to get in terms of maintenance, where are you getting parts for this? So you move from a Ford ambulance, reputable vehicle provider, manufacturer, to this brand I don't even know. I hear it come from, I don't know. don't wanna, but no, this is ridiculous. Tobagonians, and you know, this is more than this. The reason why we are bringing this to you is because we care and we want to see the thing do better. And you know, people say let us work together, and we are willing to work together at all costs, and that is why we are saying better needs to be done, and we all have to demand better. We need to stop bury our heads in the sand, and we need to stop make excuses for incompetence. We need to call people to account. And the final thing I want to address is some information I received from workers at the Division of Settlements. The Division of Settlements, I understand, would have kept a meeting, the administrator would have kept a meeting on the instructions of the secretary, indicating to a unit that has been there for years, as long as I know the Division of Settlements, providing human service support services, that just before the Christmas season, they are being told that their services will no longer be required. And you know what is even more hurtful about this is that the notice does not even allow them 3 months to prepare themselves for termination. As far as I understand, it would be with immediate effect once they get the letters, which they are to receive sometime at the end of the month. So imagine, we are into Christmas, and you as an individual with your family are being told that you no longer, starting 2025, will be earning an income you have known for maybe all your life, an income that you would have also made commitments on. You would have taken loans, you have your rent to pay, and you are being terminated, told your service and your unit is no longer required, while at the same time, while this is happening, you have units being created where persons are being paid ridiculous amounts of money, so much so that their pay is even close to or even more than the administrator. Their pay is even more than this assistant secretary. Their pay is even more than the minority leader. Their pay is even more than people who are actually working. So you have created a rural development unit, and if you ask me, I can't tell you what they do, what they have delivered, but the coordinator there is getting over $25,000. They have a position called deputy coordinator, $22,000. So you have a coordinator and an assistant coordinator. So the person who you are paying $25,000 need help, and the person who helping them getting $22,000. But the person who earning a little $5,000, $6,000, you are sending that person home without any means of where their next bread is coming from. And this is the party that campaigned on bread and butter issues, told you they will fix it, and guaranteed you, the chief secretary guaranteed you contract workers. That was a promise he made. He said you will not lose your jobs. And as of now, we have counted over 550 Tobagonians under the direction of this chief secretary. They have lost their jobs. So they are again broken promise, while their known propagandists are being well paid, because the assistant coordinator is a known go anytime on Facebook, any time of the day, any hour, and you would see that name, Otis Noel, on the pages. You would see the name on the social media pages, batting and singing their tune. He's being paid $22,000. and ask me what has been delivered for that $22,000, it is anyone's guess. And they're doing it under fake profiles as well. So you're taking bread out from the hard-working, honest Tobagonian, and your propagandists, they are being paid lucrative, as we heard in the audio gate. We must not forget that, because that was discussed. So while you're taking bread out of honest Tobagonians' mouth, you are feeding your propagandists with undeserved salary. $25,000 to do what? What has the Rural Development Unit delivered? And how were they recruited? But that is a matter I would leave alone, because it is currently in the hands of the Integrity Commission. And therefore that matter is going along, and I will keep you abreast of it as it develops. $25,000 Tobago, $22,000. So this is the kind of wickedness that is passing, even in the spirit of giving and love. This administration continues to administer hate and vengeance and wickedness to Tobagonians. Fellow Tobagonians, it is clear, it is obvious that Tobago's interest is not being served currently under these TPP, PDP, IPP, because they were once independent people, and we will have to treat with that at the appropriate time. At this point, if there are any questions, any other issue that wasn't raised that you perhaps may want to address, feel free. If not, again, I just want to reiterate from the Office of the Minority Leader, Councillor Petal Ben, or her family, my family, and the rest of us will want to extend a season's greetings to all of Trinidad and Tobago, and best wishes for the year 2025. Any questions? Okay, so that's it. Thank you so much. Have a blessed day.